I think we're going to just get going here because we have all the principal players here as part of it. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm going to ask Kathy Duva to just give us a little introduction, talk about the fight, about the NBC Fight Night, and then I'll open the Q&A.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome. We are really excited to finally be able to present Tomasz Adamek versus Czar Glazkov, which is going to be, I think, has the potential to be one of the best, certainly one of the best heavyweight fights of this year or maybe any year. We tried to do this fight back in November, and unfortunately Tomasz took ill, and we had to put it off, but I think everyone, the whole audience on the NBC Sports Network is in for a treat. All the boxing fans, we want encourage everybody to watch. We have a tremendous show. Underneath that, we have a terrific fight with Isaac Chilemba fighting Denis Graychev. I think it's a terrific light heavyweight battle. I don't know who's going to win either one of these fights, to tell you the truth, and that's the kind of show we like to do whenever we can. So I want to compliment Jolene Mazzone, our matchmaker, who put this together. It's a tremendous show, and we're really excited about it. So it's going to be on Saturday night on NBC Sports Network. We're going to start at 9 o'clock, and everybody should be tuned in.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to open it up right away to the Q&A, and hopefully my interpreter will pipe up when it's time for Mr. Glazkov to answer a question, or Edward, the trainer. And to ask a question, you are going to press *6. And when I open the Q&A, please muted more than 2 questions. At the end, if you still have a question that wasn't asked, you can do *6 again and get back in the queue, but we're trying to be fair to everybody. Okay? Q&A session started. If you'd like to ask a question, please press 1 to add yourself to the queue. Your request has been received. Okay, Chris, you're on.
Me?
We now ask your question.
Thank you. My first question's for Czar, and thank you for... I'm here. Can you hear me?
Unmuted. Muted. Unmuted.
I am here.
There?
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Now we can.
Thanks for this opportunity. It's Chris Gunzz from the Chris Gunzz Boxing Show. My first question's for Czar. I'll call you Czar because it's a lot easier, and we don't have much time. You've been scheduled for this fight with Tomasz in November, and he pulled out. And according to everyone who saw your sparring sessions with him, you got the best of him, and you even hurt him. Did you think that it was a little gamesmanship to pull out of that fight in November, or did you think it was a legitimate illness on Tomas's part?
Okay, do we have the translator with us? Aegis, I'm going to ask you to step in.
Okay. Он спрашивает Славика, когда, то есть в ноябре ты должен был его боксировать, и все видели, ну, те, которые видели твои спарринги вместе с Адамеком, что ты как бы был всегда впереди, что даже пару раз ты его так неплохо потряс, и как ты думаешь, что это было как бы легально, ну, на самом деле он отказался от боя по поводу своей болезни, или он как бы сыграл какую-то игру здесь? Твое мнение личное.
Ну, я не думаю, что Томаш будет показывать какую-то игру. Он опытный, заслуженный боец, спортсмен. С каждым может быть, приключиться какая-то беда со здоровьем. Поэтому здесь ничего подозрительного как бы у меня не возникало по поводу этого.
I don't think Tomasz would be playing any kind of a games. He's a very experienced fighter. He's not scared. He knows exactly what he's doing, and like everybody else can get sick or something goes wrong with their health. So I personally don't think he was pushing for some kind of like tricks.
That's fair and really professional of you. And Tomasz, according to those people, you did get a little hurt in those sparring sessions, and he did do really well against you. How hurt were you, and what did you take away from that sparring session? That's for Tomasz.
Hello, yeah. My opinion is sparring is sparring. Fight is a different story. You have small gloves, no headgear, and everybody watch. Many million people on the world watching you. It's a different game. And I'm looking for not for what was, but I'm looking for future. Fight is the most important, and I want to show my class, my experience, and win this fight.
Thank you, fellas.
Hello, is everybody still there?
Yeah, I hear music.
Isn't that strange?
Somebody must have put us on hold.
Это ain't me.
Okay, let's try that. All right, let's. When it's your turn to ask a question, please announce your name also. Muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Sean Kroos, and I'm from Boxing Insider.
Hi, Sean. Go ahead. Who's your question for?
Thank you. Okay, 2 questions I have, right?
Right.
Okay, one for each fighter then. The first one is for Tomasz. Tomasz, you've had a lot of great opponents, but as has been mentioned, you had a little trouble in sparring, or so it was said this time around. You're on NBC, which is going to have a pretty good audience. You fought Klitschko before, one of the Klitschkos. How important is it for you to look explosive in this fight? Not just to win, but how important is it for you to look explosive?
This my next fight. I want to be the best, and I'm prepared for every fight. I'm never was lazy man, and I'm mountain boy, and every fight takes serious, and where I'm training very hard, and I'm ready for top fights. We see what's going to happen.
Okay, and my second question is for, with all due respect, I am going to call you Czar too, because my pronunciation would be ungodly. So it's the same question. I mean, you're undefeated, Czar. You've looked really good. They say you've looked good against Tomasz in sparring. How important is it for you to look explosive in this fight? Not necessarily getting a knockout per se, but to just look explosive and appealing to a large American audience.
Славик, тебе вопрос. Как важно для тебя выглядеть зрелищным в этом бою? Он говорит, что да, действительно видели тебя в спаррингах, что ты опережал в спаррингах, но спарринги это спарринги, а бой это бой. И как для тебя важно выглядеть в этом бою зрелищно? Не просто выиграть там на нокауте, а зрелищно, вот именно для американской публики.
Да, я соглашусь, что спарринги это спаррингами, бой это совсем другая вещь. Ну и скажу, что в каждом бою я пытаюсь выглядеть зрелищно, не мне судить, получается это у меня или не получается. Ну и в этом бою я максимально отдам все силы, чтобы бой получился зрелищным.
I have to agree with everybody. Sparrings is a sparrings, and the bout is about completely different story. I'm trying in every bout to look explosive, and it's not for me to decide how I look. But in this bout, I will try to look explosive and to get some more American fans.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, this is Peter, Fight News. Question number 1 is for Kati. Like I said, from the left field a little bit. About 5 minutes ago, there was information posted on one of the leading boxing websites saying that on March 18 there will be purse bid between Kubrat Pulev and Derek to fight Vladimir Klitschko for IBF title. Obviously, the reason why I'm asking the question is very obvious. Any comment? This is the first time you're hearing about it. Any comment about how this thing even can happen?
This is the first time I'm hearing it, but I really can't give you any comments until I look into it. Probably my best guess is they have it doesn't. I can't even give you a guess on that. I'll have to look into it and let you know.
Okay, so let's strike this question because I would love to hear it from you later, maybe, during the day, because obviously it's very important. This is IBF number 2 eliminator, and we all know that this is the way to fight with Vladimir Klitschko, and now this information kind of puts the wrench into, or tries to put the wrench into the whole idea.
Who did you say he's ordered the fight with? You said Derek Chisora?
Yes, Derek Chisora. I can read you the full wire. I got it, but I don't want to take anybody else's time. But supposed to be prize bid for the fight on March 18, and I'm going to quote now: Chisora versus Pulev is effectively also an eliminator for who will fight unified champion Vladimir Klitschko when he is past his WBO mandatory Alex Lepai.
I'm sure of that, but
I know this is just happened like really 5 minutes ago, so I had to ask because obviously this fight is very much connected into everything what ABF.
Okay, I believe Igor, your interpreter, is online now.
let me email these people. Bye.
Okay, so I don't need Igor anymore.
Look into this. It doesn't make any sense because Czar is rated too far down in the rankings for that to make any sense. But anyway, we'll look into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I'm going to ask the actual question, which is, you said that this was very tough for you to make this fight, not fight because it's easy for people fight. Obviously, I mean this is very interesting fight. Nobody knows who's going to win. This is a very good fight, but there are two fighters. They're working their main events. They're very important for main events. Was it the best fight possible for both of them at this period of time?
Well, it was the best fight possible for them back in November, and we were very happy with the fight we made. And it's the kind of fight where I'm just going to root for it to be the fight of the year because I really can't root for either guy. So I'm rooting for the fans. I'm rooting for a great fight. And as far as this fight got postponed, through no fault of anyone's, and so it's happening now. So, I think that the best thing for everyone's career is to be active and to be seen on television and have people following you and caring about what happens to your career. So a high-profile fight that has significance, moves the winner up high into the ratings, it's all good. I think it's good.
Thank you. And a question to Roger Bloodworth, if I may. Roger, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Roger, assessing strengths of Vyacheslav Glazkov, I'm going to call him Vyacheslav. I can probably manage the first name pretty good. When I spoke with Jolene Mizon, who you know very well, obviously, she said that one of the most underappreciated values of Glazkov is his defense. If you can tell us something, what do you see as a main strength of Glazkov on March 15?
Good try, but I'm not giving away anything. But listen, I can say this. Glazkov is a very good fighter. He's going to come to win. I expect him to be in perfect shape, and I expect to see a very exciting fight.
Thank you. Man of few words, Roger Bloodworth. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, just wait 1 second, while you're on there, Peter. Pat called up Lindsey Tucker. He said it is untrue. So he's the head
Okay,
guy.
I appreciate it.
Told you it's not true, so we're going to go with it's not true. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, just a reminder, if you want to ask a question, you press star 6, and you have Tomasz Adamek, Roger Bloodworth, Vyacheslav Glazkov. If you'd like to ask a question, please press 1 to your request has been received. So the next person.
Hey, this is Bobby Cassidy from Newsday.
Hey, Bobby.
Can you hear me? You
Yeah.
guys hear me? I wanted to pose this question to each trainer, actually, since both of the fighters spoke about the sparring session. And Roger, if I could ask you first, and then I'd like to ask the same question for Glaz's trainer. It's happened many times in the past when guys spar each other and they end up fighting each other down the road. And you have to come away with some kind of opinion. There's no way you can. It's just human nature. In your experience or in your opinion, is it better to have been in the ring with somebody or not have been in the ring with somebody before you fought them? And what do you prefer? Would you rather have learned something, or, the flip side of that is to have a preconceived notion of what someone is? So, Roger, what do you think about that?
Well, I've been in this business long enough to know that sparring, as everybody stated, is different than a fight. You might have some preconceived notion of what a person is going to do, but when he comes into the ring, everything might change. So, I've seen a lot of guys spar and then fight each other, and sometimes, it didn't make any difference. I don't think it's going to make any difference in this fight. And we're certainly not going into the fight with any preconceived notions about Glazkov because, except for one, he's a very good athlete, a very dedicated fighter, and he'll be prepared.
Okay, and the same question to Glazkov's trainer, please.
Okay, let's see if Igor, are you with us? Can you take this? Igor, are you there? Never mind. I guess let's just go with your personal expertise.
Вопрос был задан Эдуарду, как тренеру Глазкова. Очень много происходит в боксе, что два боксера спаррингуются, потом они выходят в ринг. Твое мнение, это как бы помогает для боксера, когда они уже виделись перед боем, спарринг, или как бы это лучше, когда они друг друга не знают и просто выходят не спаррингуют до боя еще?
Не, в каком-то случае лучше, но тут для обоих хорошо, потому что они обои друг друга изучают. В принципе, потом по подготовке можно уже принимать какие-то действия. Тренер видит, и уже что-то и с той стороны, и с этой стороны уже мы ведем работу. Конечно, лучше, когда уже спарринговали.
My opinion is, of course, it's better than fighters sparred before the bout, so trainers for the both sides, they can see some pluses and some minuses, and they know where to work on it. My opinion is, it was better if they spar before the fight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Bobby.
Jim Haig from Associated Press. This question is for Tomasz. Tomasz, do you feel that there's been too much of a layoff between your last fight and this fight? And you're going on. Hello? I don't know what's going on with that music.
I don't either.
Can you figure this out?
All right, it's gone. All right, Tomasz, Jim Haig again. Just wanted to know whether or not, is there a concern at all that there's been so much of a layoff since your last fight that you haven't been in the ring, and are you worried about rust, and you're worried about not being sharp going into the Glazkov fight?
No, because I'm not stay home and nothing to do. We had the last camp. I was sick a couple of days before fight. That was all camp, and now we had 9 weeks camp again. And I'm very sharp. I'm feeling good. But the verification is ring. Saturday night I want to show my class.
Roger, I ask you the same question. Are you concerned at all that he's been out of the ring for so long since his last fight?
No, I'm not concerned. He's a fighter with a lot of experience, and if you notice, most of your world champions don't fight every month. That's important when you have a young fighter. You're bringing him up to keep him busy. But I think when you get to a certain level, your conditioning and experience will tell.
Okay, one last question for me, if at all possible. Tomasz, do you feel like this is do or die for you? Is this almost like, I have to win this fight to maintain being active? And if you get, if you have that type of attitude that this is, if I lose, this is my last fight?
I'm never thinking about lose because I'm a warrior. If you start thinking about it, better not go to the ring. I'm ready for war, and I'm never thinking wrong. I'm thinking good. I have big faith. I'm very healthy. God give me be healthy. Give me the talent. I'll go to the ring.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is Keith Yasin-Setter with Ring King TV. This question is for Tomasz Adamek. My question here is, Tomasz, you said before you want to be explosive for the American fans. Does this mean that you'll be looking to make a statement early on? For example, in your last fight, we saw you outbox a bigger Dominic Quinn. How are you going to approach this fight any differently?
This is Roger. I'm going to explain what Tomasz is telling me. He's going to prepare for this fight like he does for every fight. A lot of it will be what Czar brings to the fight, and we'll take a look at what he does in the first round, and we'll adjust from there.
Okay, excellent. I have one more question, if possible, too, for Glazkov's camp. Being that you're both Polish fighters, is this more than just a title contender fight? Does this have any implications on possibly any Polish, who's the best fighter out of Poland? Or is it just a title contender fight?
Is that for, who's this for?
This is for Glazkov, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And can you? I didn't get a question. Is that? Did you ask? Is that for him something means to find for that contender?
No, my question basically is, since both fighters are from Poland, is this just a contender fight?
Glazkov is not from Poland. Glazkov is from Ukraine.
Oh wow, my mistake then. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Good afternoon. This is Gabriel Montoya with MaxBoxing.com. My first question is actually kind of just asked, but I'll ask again for Roger Bloodworth or Tomasz. Could we talk about what he did during the long layoff? I know he got sick, but how do you start all over again in terms of training camp so he doesn't get stale? And with a fighter with his age and mileage, is it good to get this kind of rest as opposed to fighting a very active schedule?
Well, first of all, he had the flu. It's not like he had a major illness. He had to take some time off and recover from that. After he recovered from that, then we found out we were fighting in March, and we planned for a 9-week camp, and we came in and we did what we normally do. I think as a fighter gets more years on him and he gets more experience on him, he needs rest. All fighters need rest, but actually, obviously, the older you are, the more or the better it does for you. The rest is just as important as the work.
And my second question is for Mr. Glazkov. what did you learn in the Malik Scott fight? It was a tough competitive bout. It went a lot of good rounds. I think it was educational rounds for you as a fighter. And how can that help you, or can it help you, in a fight against a capable boxer such as Tomasz?
Славик, для тебя вопрос. Что ты выучил в бою с Малик Скаттом? И как ты думаешь, что может тебе помочь то, что ты выучил в этом бою с Томаш Адамеком?
После Малика Скотта мы сделали вывод и с тренером проанализировали, и у нас сделали вывод, что у нас была чуть неправильная подготовка. Поэтому у меня была какая-то зажатость, удары были не такие резкие. Ну, после этого боя хорошо, что он состоялся, и из каждого боя я извлекаю опыт. Ну и уже таких ошибок в подготовке мы допускать не будем.
After the bout with Malik Scott, me and my trainer, we went through over it, and we found some mistakes we did in our preparation for the fight. Also, during the fight, was no plan. I was too tight. I didn't throw my punches the right way and properly. So I got some experience. It's a very good. It happened that bout with me, and we're doing some kind of corrections in the preparation camp, and also I think it was a good experience for me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Good luck.
you. You may now ask your question. Muted.
Thank you. It's Chris Gunzz from the Chris Gunzz Boxing Show again. Thank you for
Yes, this is Keith Idek from The Record. My question is for Glazkov. I was just wondering what his thoughts are on the unrest that's going on in Ukraine, and how much of a distraction that may be with with his family being there and that kind of thing.
Славик, для тебя вопрос. То, что сейчас происходит на Украине, и не мешает ли тебе к твоей подготовке к бою?
Ну, я слежу за новостями, конечно же, переживаю. Моя семья сейчас находится там. Я переживаю за свою семью, за свою страну, за ее будущее. Ну и надеюсь, что политики решат этот вопрос на своем уровне, и люди не будут воевать.
Of course, I'm always looking and always searching what's going on in my country. This is my country, and my family is down there, and of course I'm concerned and worried about it, and I hope politics gonna stop soon, and people is not gonna be fighting.
How much motivation does it provide for him on Saturday to maybe give something positive back to his people who are obviously dealing with terrible things there now?
Как ты думаешь, и какие возможности для тебя что-то показать позитивное в субботу, и что этим людям, которые сейчас там страдают?
Я буду показывать красивый бокс, и надеюсь, мой поединок отвлечет людей от этой напряженности, которая сейчас у нас в стране, и люди отвлекутся от этих всех забот.
I'm gonna try to fight a good bout, and I hope some people gonna pay more attention to my bout and not gonna be involved in that terrible situation what's going on now in the country.
I just have one last question for Glazkov. If you can please ask him, he's obviously been in the ring with Malik Scott, and maybe Malik Scott might have been even better than he thought, but how does he think that Malik Scott will fare against Deontay Wilder in another heavyweight fight on Saturday that's important?
Как ты думаешь, ты уже был с Маликом Скаттом в ринге, и как ты думаешь, как он сейчас выступит Деонтой Уайлдером?
Прогнозы — это неблагодарная вещь в профессиональном боксе, тем более в супертяжелом весе. пройдет время, и мы посмотрим, как он выступит. Ну, боксер-то он неплохой, техничный. Я думаю, что бой будет тоже хороший.
I don't think for me it's in the right position right now to give updates on the fight, what's going to happen. I don't like to do that. The time will come and we're going to see. As much as for Malik Scott, I can say he's a technical fighter, and I think it's going to be a good bout between these two guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Lem Satterfield from ringtv.com. Guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, how you doing? Just a question for each of them. Given the heavyweight climate, I'd like to, obviously Thomas has been there before. How many fights, what do they see as their position in the race for the heavyweight championship? How many fights are they away? How big is this fight in establishing them among the hierarchy that's, in pursuit of the title? There's a lot of names out there.
So let's do Tomasz first. Tomasz, did you understand the question?
Yeah, every fight is big, because if you're looking for from the top, you have to win. The 10 rounds, 12-round fight. Every fight is very important. If you want to be challenger to title fights, you have to win every fight. Why? For me, every fight is very important.
Славик, как ты видишь себя в тяжеловесом позиции? То, что сейчас там много всяких разных имен, обходя, то есть, и как ты сам себя видишь, в каких рейтингах, как ты думаешь, сколько у тебя боев до чемпионских боев?
Ну, рейтинги говорят сами за себя. В принципе, я уже подбираюсь к наивысшим ступенькам рейтинга. Поэтому сейчас я сконцентрирован на моем поединке с Томашем. И после боя уже будем рассуждать конкретно, к чему потом готовиться.
As the rating speaks by itself, I am getting there. I'm getting to the top as much as I can. Right now, I'm concentrating on the bout with Tomasz, and after that bout, we will see, and we'll look where our ratings is going to be.
One more question for Czar. Obviously, he's a big name. He's been, Thomas has been in the ring with a champion. Fighters always say that this guy is a stepping stone. He's a big name. Can you characterize what a victory over Tomasz Adamek would mean in establishing you among those heavyweights who are contending?
Вопрос опять для Славика. Томаш Адамек — это большое имя. Он был в ринге самыми лучшими в тяжелом весе. Ты можешь как-то похарактеризовать, что для тебя будет победа над Томаш Адамеком? Где твое имя станет среди тяжеловесов с победой над Томаш Адамеком?
Опять-таки повторюсь, я не хочу забегать вперед, я сконцентрирован на поединке, я хочу его выиграть, и после поединка уже буду давать ответы на все вопросы.
I don't wanna to prognose anything ahead. To talk right now about what's going on. I'm concentrating on the bout. This bout is very important for me, and after the bout, I can talk more about it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Brian, you there?
Yeah, this is Brian Campbell with ESPN.com. Thanks for having me. My question is to Tomasz first. You've been so successful as building your brand to fans as an exciting go-for-broke fighter. When you look at this matchup with Glazkov, do you think this one has potential to have the same type of fireworks you have had in a lot of your recent fights?
Yes. Yes. Tom's had a little trouble understanding him, but I can tell you that he expects this to be a very exciting fight with a lot of punches thrown because of Glazkov's style, or what we think he's going to bring to the ring. But we will see. You know, the ring is where everything happens, and like I said before, I think it's going to be a very exciting fight for people.
Good, thank you. Thank you. My next question is for Tsar Glazkov. When you look back at some of Tomas's most recent fights, he's 5-0 in the last few years, but a couple of them have been very close. What do you take from seeing those bouts? What stood out to you?
Славик, тебе вопрос. Когда ты смотришь на последние бои Томаша, он в последние 2 года 5-0, идет без проигрыша последние бои. Что ты видишь в них? Что ты себе берешь от этих боев? Что ты видишь?
Ну, конечно, просмотрели все последние поединки Томаша. Так делают все профессиональные спортсмены, я уверен. Томаш просмотрел и мои поединки. Изучаем слабые и сильные стороны, и уже исходя из просмотренного мы уже делаем свою подготовку к поединку.
Of course, I was watching his last bouts, and I'm sure, as every professional fighter, he watched my fights, and we're picking up pluses and minuses. We're taking weak spots and the strong spots, and making some decisions out of it, and using that in our preparation.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Carl Freitag with FightNews.com. A question for Kathy. I was wondering if you could talk about the thought process of putting two fighters that are both under the main event's banner in against each other, and one's going to move ahead and the other one's going to be moved back in their career. Is this kind of like sacrificing one of your fighters?
Well, it's not something we do all the time. Other promoters, it's all they do. We don't do it every day. We do it carefully. When we see a point where both fighters have are kind of at a crossroads and have an opportunity, and they both want the fight, which was the case here, there's no reason not to do it. There's just so many opportunities out there, and we had two people in position to become the number one contender in the IBF. They both wanted to very much, and so we were able to make the fight. You can't always make every fight you want. You can't. Sometimes if you want to move people forward, you've got to give them the opportunity to perform. So they both have that opportunity.
When you think about making a fight like this, and you think about the future of the fighters, it seems to me that this is a much bigger risk for Adamek, who's 37. He's the established guy. He's better known. He's also the big draw. And is this more of a risk for him? And do you see this as being more of a risk for him?
Well, I think you'd have to talk to him and his management about that. Remember, we're boxing promoters.
Well, they already were asked. They said that they don't think about possibly losing. But I'm thinking about from your perspective as a promoter.
My perspective as a promoter is that I've promised the television network to give them the best fights I possibly can. I'm not the fighters' manager. They both have very capable management, and so we present opportunities to them, and they decide if they want to take them or not. So this opportunity arose, and we presented it. Both gentlemen are convinced they're going to win, and that's generally how good fights get made, when both sides believe they're going to win the fight. But my job, to be very candid, is not to protect anybody. It's to help them further their career, and also, there's a tension there. We've got to give the TV network good action. We are not in the business of putting on appearance fights. So,
okay.
This is the idea is the fans, the television network, everybody wins. And if you have a great fight, I would argue with you that it doesn't necessarily mean somebody gets set back all that far. I think the better option is, as I said earlier, stay active, let people see you, build your brand, make yourself more in demand. That benefits everybody in the end.
Well, it's a great fight. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else press *6 for questions. Meanwhile, if you'd like to ask a question, please press 1. Add your request has been received at 2 p.m. And it'll be live on Main Event's Ustream, as well as the weigh-in at 7 p.m. on Friday, also live on Ustream. And there are less than 40 tickets available. So that means that everybody has to watch this on NBC Sports Network Fight Night. And I see one more question here. You may now ask your question.
Thank you. It's Chris Gunzz from the Chris Gunzz Boxing Show. I appreciate this second round of questioning. This question's for Tomasz. Tomasz, 51 fights in your career. You were the light heavyweight champion, the cruiserweight champion. You fought everybody from Galata to Chris Arreola, Steve Cunningham, and lots of other guys who brought experience to you. You and Roger both said that you prepared the same for this fight. And I take that to mean physically. Mentally plays a huge role too, though. And Roger kind of hit on the mentality of how you're taking this fight a little while ago. But this guy Czar has been wanting you for a while now. How do you prepare mentally when you had all those guys with big fights in their past, and here you are fighting this guy with just 16 fights under his belt? How do you prepare mentally and not have a letdown on the night that you fight this guy?
Mentally, I'm strong every time because I'm a Catholic man. I'm pray every day. God give me power, and I'm healthy. I'm 37, like you said, and I'm still. I still improve my talent. I see Roger still teach me. Every camp give me something, and ring verification, everything, because we can talk too much about the camp, but the ring is first round start. You have to show. I want to show my class, my technique, be the best. I want to show Saturday. Tomasz Adamek is still strong, and with this fight, this is my dream.
I like how you sound. You sound like you still got something to prove, and to the people and to yourself. My next question is for Roger Bloodworth. Roger, you know Tomasz. You've been together now for a long time. What do you see changed in him over the past couple of years? Do you see any kind of change? What percentage of him is left from his absolute best?
What percentage is left from what?
From him at his absolute best while you were with him. Is he still just as good as he ever was?
To me, he is. You can prepare the same way every time, and you go to the ring, you see what happens in the ring. Anything can happen in the ring. But he's just as dedicated. He wants to learn. He keeps improving. If you remember when he was fought light heavyweight and cruiserweight, he mainly just stood in front of you and threw punches. And it was last man standing. I think he showed in his last bout that he's becoming a boxer and a bit of a puncher. And we've been practicing that, so we'll see what happens.
Thank you. And I just got a couple questions for Czar finishing up. Are there any questions in your own mind, Czar, about how ready you are for this fight? Do you have any question marks about yourself?
Ставлю для тебя вопрос. У тебя остаются какие-то вопросы, которые тебя волновали по поводу этого боя? Что ты не готов?
Нет, у меня вопросов нет. Я прошел отличную подготовку, готовился на Брайтон-Бич в своей среде, кушал свою родную еду, спарринговал со многими боксерами, и с темнокожими, и с белыми боксерами, то есть потренировался, были хорошие условия, которые предоставил нам Underground Gym, боксинг Gym. Я готов на все 100%, и вы увидите мою готовность прямо с ринге.
I don't have no questions. I don't have no doubts. I had a very good training camp. I went through a lot of sparrings. I got a good sparring guy, sparring partners, and I lived in the Brighton Beach area in New York, where I had almost like food was cooked like at home. So there was no distractions in my preparation. I'm ready. I have no doubts, and you will see. I'm going to show the best what I can do.
I look forward to it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody else? Star 6, last chance. Angus, I tried to give you a break, but you saved the day. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you.
Do not overestimate me.
Thanks, everybody, for participating. And we hope that you'll tune in for the press conference and the weigh-in. And email me if you have any other questions.
Are you going to send me a check for translation?
Sure, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Скажите это, чтобы настоящая пресс-конференция была, можно устроить face-to-face.
Ну так это face-to-face, это будет четверг.
Ну так можно и сейчас устроить.
Your conference recording has stopped.
Все уже остановили. Ellen, did you hear what he said?
No, what did he say?
He asked, are him and Tomasz Adamek going to do face-to-face?
Yes.
No, but right now we have to do after press conference.
Exactly.
Через Skype.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye.